Hello, I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today I am showing you the Abstract Beauty Suite. This is a great suite. It is very abstract, and this is a perfect week to show you this card because my daughter in her painting class at college is doing an abstract painting, and so we've been talking about abstracts a lot this week. So I'm going to give everybody just a minute to get on, tell you about my gorgeous weather. I don't even know how warm it is today. I think it's in the low 80s, high 70s, but it was gloomy and humid all morning, and now the sun is out and we have blue skies and wispy clouds, and it's perfect. It's my favorite. I'm not big on the gloom, and if it is gloomy, I want rain, and we're not getting rain. So I don't need that gloom. I need sunshine. So tell me where you're at and what your weather's like. I love hearing about other people's weather and what it's doing. And just love hearing where you're at. And remember, if you don't comment on my video while it's live, then I will not know that you're watching with me. So I love it whenever you say hi and let me know that you're there and I can say hi back. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching the replay, and thanks for watching. I'm glad you're here, and hopefully you can join me some evening on a Thursday night in my Facebook page for my live. I am going to be showing a couple of cards. One is going to be posted on my blog tonight, and the other one tomorrow. So if you are watching on YouTube, they'll both already be there if you want to see the measurements for these cards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around so that I can show you the suite. So this suite is found in the mini catalog, the January to June 2022 mini catalog, on page 48 and 49. So there's lots of great inspiration for this set right here, and this is everything that you get if you order the suite. So the price for the suite in the US is $81.25. And for that, you get the stamp set, the dies, the adhesive back hexagons, the abstract beauty cards and envelopes, and the first card I'm going to show you, I actually used that to make it really quick and simple. The abstract beauty, I can say it in my head, but I can't say it out loud, ephemera pack. I think I got it. And the Abstract Beauty Specialty Designer Series paper. This Designer Series paper is a new size. It says it right there. Look at that. It is 4x6, and I'll go ahead and show that to you. I love the colors in this paper. Not the paper. I think the paper's actually on the bottom. So I've been using it. As you can see, I've got all my scraps in here. But let me just pull out some of it. So it's 4x6. So if you do pocket scrapbooking, this is perfect because you can just use this as it is and add to it, or you can cut it in half and put it in those smaller pieces, slots. But it's also good for card making because you can cut it down just a little bit and have it for a card front. So it's a specialty. That means it's got some kind of foiling on it. Usually is what specialty means. Not always, but usually. So one side of each of these pieces of paper has a little bit of gold on it, and the other side does not. So I just love all of these patterns. There's, I can't remember how many patterns there are, but there's 48 sheets in here, and each of those sheets is double-sided. So there's 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. So you actually have 24 patterns. And yeah, so you get plenty of paper in here and lots of options. So let me show you the first card that I made using this set. Well, back up. So this is the cards and the envelopes. Here's the envelopes, and I love that all of these have patterns inside them. And then here's the cards. And there's more cards than this. I've just been using this for a little bit now. So you have 2 basic patterns. You have like the watercolor color print that's solid across the front, or just like this brushed on bit, and it comes in different colors. So all these colors are the colors that are in the suite, and they're fabulous colors. One of the ways that I pick what colors I'm going to use for a card, if I'm just not inspired by something already, is I'll get a designer series paper pack out, and I'll find the colors that are in the paper. So like these are some of the colors in this one. I think Night of Navy, Blushing Bride is in here, which is right there. So I would get like, I just use my rectangle punch to punch these out, and I keep them in my drawer. And so I would just pull out the ones that were in a designer series paper pack, and then I would play with those and figure out which ones I think are fabulous together and go from there. Like, I love that. Just looking at this real quick. So sometimes I just like to play with the colors and get ideas that way. Okay, so I've showed you the paper, showed you the cards and the envelopes. So let's see this first card that I made. So this one is a shaker card, and I thought about sealing it off to where you just had a circle here and a circle here, and each one had their own little shaker bits. But I decided to leave it open. I did put just a strip going right here so that the cardstock didn't fall in the middle. It stays nice and level. But I left it open around that so that all of the sequins can go to the top or the bottom. And y'all, this card was so fast to put together. This was on my blog yesterday. And so there's simple instructions, like, and I have the measurements on there, but I didn't go into detail at all because really this one is fast. This is a piece of that designer series paper. This is a piece, I didn't even show you that, there's that word again, the ephemera. Why is that hard for me? I don't know. So I used the little heart that was here. You can see I've been playing with this some, but not much. So you get 3 sheets. One is this gold foil, one is the one I just put to the side, and then the last one is this one. And these are all just pre-cut die cuts that you can play with and stick on your card, so they're real handy. So this is all that I stamped, and then I used the dies that are part of the suite to cut out the circles, and that was pretty much it. So I did want to show you the sequins. This is the Sparkle and Shine sequins assortment, and it's also in this mini catalog, and I love all of these shiny, sparkly, it's stars and circles, and it's a great little set for sequins for a shaker card. Okay, and in my blog yesterday, I talked about these hexagon shapes. They're adhesive backed, and I didn't use it on my shaker card, so I said I needed to make a card soon where I did use them. So the card for my blog today, I did. I used those, and I used the dies again. This is another super fast card. So it's the Blushing Bride card base, and then I have just a matte, a basic black, and I'll put the measurements for this on my blog. A piece of DSP cut to fit the front, and then let me show you the dies. So here's the dies. I put this to the side so that you can see it. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. Let's see if I can put it over here where it's not. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so what I did was I have my little scrap piece of gold foil specialty paper. I put that on my cutting plate for my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then I used this is Post-it tape. I've shown it before. I use it a lot whenever I am using my dies, if I want to make sure that my dies don't wiggle around any at all. So I just placed one die inside the other die, and I just taped them together so that they didn't move. That way I made sure they were both centered up perfectly. And then I ran them through my stamp cut and emboss machine to cut out this part. And I did save the inside of this hexagon so that I can use that on another card. I like to save all of my gold foil bits because you just never know what kind of little thing. They're perfect for small little accents on cards. Okay, so like I said, this one was really simple. This part I stamped off once before I stamped this blushing bride background, and then I stamped the sentiment on top of it. My camera is not focusing for you, sorry about that. So super fast, super easy. On the inside, this is the part that I cut off because this is a 4x6 sheet, so I just cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then this is that 3/4 of an inch that I cut off the end. Okay, so let's make a card, and I have done a couple little things ahead of time for this one, but not much. So I'm starting with a basic black card base, and then I have a piece of the designer series paper that comes in the suite, the Abstract Beauty. So I love these polka dots. I'm a sucker for polka dots. So I'm going to go ahead and just put liquid glue on the back of that and place this right here on my card. Just making sure it's somewhat even. Okay, so here's another. This is a scrap, actually, that I had left over from another card. So it measures 1 inch by 4 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to use my Banner's Pick-a-Punch. I'm using, actually, this side. Just going to slip this in here. I always turn it upside down so I can see what I'm doing, and this is probably my most used punch. I use it all the time. I love that it has 2 different ends on it, and not only that, but it does 3 different sizes. And really, you can do, if you cut things other than just at the 1/4 inch, you could also use this for other sizes as long as you turn it upside down and make sure you're centered up. So this one I'm going to leave straight on both edges, and I'm going to put it down first. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'm just going to put that one down, and then I'm going to add some more liquid glue and put this one on top of it. And you can make this go all the way to the edge, or do it like I did and just have it to the edge of the DSP. Okay, so the next thing I did was I grabbed a 3-inch square piece of paper, and it's a black cardstock, and I used my Versamark to stamp on the cardstock, and then I used my gold emboss powder to cover that. And always I recommend having a small container to where when you pour your powder over your stamped image, you can tap it off into another container and collect it, because you can just keep reusing it over and over. And then I set it with my heat tool. I went ahead and did all that ahead of time, since this is live, that way you don't have to sit and wait for it to melt. But isn't that pretty? I love embossing. And so this die, I wanted to show you this detail that's in these 3 dies. So the largest circle, and then this little kind of pill-shaped dies, they all have the same detail. Let me get it where you can see it without the glare. And I just love the way that that works. And the stamp, I want to show you how I put this on a block, because I actually used Hello Beautiful, the squiggly line, and I Miss Your Face. I used them all and stamped at one time. So I'm just going to show you how to do that, or how I do that. You don't have to do it exactly the same way I do. But I like to line it up on my grid paper. I'm trying to do this without putting my head in the picture, but where we can both see it. Okay, so I think that's good. And then I put this underneath it. And I just tapped it right up there to it. And then I took I Miss Your Face. And I didn't tap it, I stuck it right underneath that. Oh, I want to make sure I don't overlap them. Okay, and then I picked them all up at once with my block. And they're ready to go. So now I can stamp the whole thing all at one time. And something I considered doing, if I hadn't been stamping on black cardstock, I really wanted the gold on the black, but say I had been stamping on white, I had thought about taking the middle piece out, stamping these in black, the sentiments, and then coming back with another block and stamping the squiggly lines in the center with gold. I don't know, just something to think about. Okay, so I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals, because y'all know I love these. I think they're perfect. I love having that little, I always like having something popped up off my card. Not always, but almost always. It's just fun. Gives it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to put that right there so you can see a little bit on each side. I pre-tied a bow, so y'all don't have to sit and watch me fiddle with my bow until I've got it perfect. And I already have a glue dot that I cut in half. I just used my scissors and cut it in half, and I've already used the other side on something. So I'm going to place my bow on that glue dot. I think I rolled my bow weird. You might have to sit and watch me fiddle with my bow after all. Nope, I'll just have it backwards. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just barely tuck that up underneath. There we go, up underneath my circle. And I wanted to add one more thing. Remember that ephemera pack? I said it. Okay, so I wanted to get this pink heart. I'm just going to grab that, and I'm going to use another glue dot, because I don't really want this one popped up a lot with the Stampin' Dimensional, so I'm just going to use the glue dot and put this right here. And y'all, I have to tell you, I love the sentiments in this set. So it says, "This calls for a celebration. First of all, you're amazing. I Miss Your Face. Hello Beautiful. Thank you." I use this one all the time. "And so happy to know you." And I've got to say, when I first saw this, I thought, I don't see me sending a card to somebody and saying, "Hello Beautiful." Really, that's not how I talk to my people usually. But my kids, my daughters, are both going to be spending a lot of time away from home for the first time this summer. So I do see myself using this stamp set a lot for both of them whenever they're not home. So just something to think about. But I love that these sentiments are different from what's in a typical stamp set. They're good, they're loving, they're cheerful, and I like them a lot. But of course, I think you can never have too many sentiments for cards and scrapbooking. Alright, so the last thing that I would do is add a basic white cardstock to the inside of this card, and you can stamp on it some more, add another little bit of that ephemera, or a strip of DSP. I'm not going to do any of that right now because I'm going to be using this card and I'm not sure how much I'm going to write in it. So I might add that at the end. Okay, thank y'all so much for watching. If you plan on making an order, please use, where is it? There it is. The host code for April. Just a few more days left. If you're placing an order under $150, I would really appreciate that. And if not, if you're, then that's okay too. But I appreciate you watching, and of course I appreciate your orders. And if you don't have a new catalog and you would like one, let me know. It's going live next week. We are not far away now from the next catalog launch. It's so exciting. So stay tuned for lots of new goodies and new cards and projects. Y'all have a great afternoon. Happy stamping.